Hey there, friends. Welcome to WA20. This is our lesson on surface area and volume of cylinders. So a cylinder, some real life examples, things you might have seen, maybe a Coke can, some batteries, a log. You take a look around, I'm sure you can see a couple of cylinders in the room right now. Now, a cylinder, if you were to cut, so if I took this can and cut it down here, kind of splayed it out, what I end up getting is two circles and this rectangle. And this is the height of my can, right? Can you kind of visualize that? And what this is actually the circumference of the circle, because if you were to wrap that up, it would go all the way around the outside of the circle. So the dimensions of this rectangle are the circumference of the circle times by the width. So it is 2 pi r times h, which is where on the surface area, that's where this part of the formula comes from, 2 pi r times h, and then two circles, 2 times pi r squared. Okay, so that's my formula for my surface area. My formula for my volume is pi r squared times height, because what it is you take the bottom circle and you push that all the way through the can, through that height, up into the top. So that's how you get your volume, because volume is filling it up. Or if you think of it as from the top going down, take that circle, push it down to the bottom. It's going to fill up that can. Okay, so these are your formulas. You always get those formulas. They're on your formula sheet. You can look at them anytime. Okay, let's just go through a quick calculation, find the surface area and volume of the cylinder below. So surface area is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. I really like to write my formula down, but at the very least you need to show the substitution into your formula. So my radius here is 5.2 squared, 2 pi times 5.2, and my height is 7.2. Okay, so just backtracking here a little bit from my diagram, I can see that my radius is 5.2, my height is 7.2. So I am going to put that into my calculator, and I like to do this all at once because these are ugly decimal numbers. It's not going to be nice. So let's just punch that all in and see what we get as an answer. So I end up getting 405.1, and this is measured in centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters squared. So that is my surface area of my cylinder. Okay, volume is pi r squared times height. So pi times the radius 5.2 squared times by the height. And when I put that in my calculator, I get 611.6, and this will be centimeters cubed because volume is measured always in units cubed. Okay, a pan for baking French bread is shaped like a half a cylinder as shown in the figure. Find the volume of uncooked dough that will fit in the pan. So basically I'm finding the volume of a cylinder, but I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, so looking at this, you can see it's 10 inches all the way across. So my radius is going to be 5 inches and my height is going to be 12 inches. I'm going to calculate the volume as if it was a full cylinder first. So pi times 5 squared times 12. That gives me 942.5 inches cubed. But remember, that would be my full cylinder. I'm going to need to slash that in half. So I'm going to divide that by 2. And I end up with 471.3 inches cubed. All right, here's one more question. These ones are a little bit tougher, but we are going to try them out. So the surface area of a cylinder is 549.2. Okay, so I've got my surface area, 549.2. The radius is 6 centimeters. What is the height? Okay, so I'm going to start with my formula for the surface area of a cylinder, which is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. And we're going to sub in all the numbers that we can. So I know that I have a number that I can put in for surface area. We did these in the last outcome. 2 pi times the radius, which is 6 squared, plus 2 pi times 6 times h. Now our brains don't really like these, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our calculator and make this into a number and make that into a number. All right, so when I punch those numbers into the calculator, that first one becomes 2 pi times 6 squared becomes 226.2, and 2 pi times 6 becomes 37.7 h. Now it's still not the nicest because I have decimals in there, but now I can hopefully see that this is a two-step equation. Here's my variable that I want to solve for. So on that side of the equal sign, I need to move the 226 over. So I'm going to subtract 226.2. And when I do that, so 549.2 minus 226.2, that leaves me with 323. So I have 323 is equal to 37.7 h. And then I will divide by 37.7 on both sides. And that will leave me with a height of 8.6. And this is being measured in centimeters, so centimeters. Okay. So those are a little bit tougher, but we did ones just like that in the last outcome. So you go ahead and practice now. So there's a few where you are just calculating surface area and volume, some word problems, some ones where you've got to solve